You know, I don't. Where the fuck does my country go as a nation from here? Right? Because like, agree with Charlie Kirk or not and his viewpoints. Like, I didn't 100% agree with him on things. Like, there's stuff that I agreed with him on. There's a lot of stuff I disagreed with him on. But regardless of how I feel about somebody's viewpoints, even if I don't like the person or their viewpoints, nobody deserves to die for their fucking viewpoints. Nobody. Just unless you start a fucking war, like an actual war, start killing. You don't. I'm sorry. You just that's unconscionable. And what I think is crazier to me is it's the same thing I've seen from the Democrat senators that were killed in Minnesota, and the attempt on the other senator and his wife, and then the assassination attempt on Trump. I don't understand how anybody can celebrate taking another human being's life because they don't share your political viewpoints. I just, I'm personally, I've gotten rid of my Facebook app on my phone, and I'm gonna deactivate the account because we shouldn't live in a society to where I can get a recipe for carbonara, for chicken carbonara. I can see a comedy reel, and then I see a woman getting stabbed on a fucking bus in Charlotte, North Carolina, or I see a woman in Charlottesville get run over in a crowd during a fucking protest or a, what become a riot. I shouldn't see a guy speaking on a college campus to hold open debate and exchange of ideas get shot in the fucking neck in such graphic detail. I just that's not something, but it's we're becoming so desensitized and we're becoming so, at least here in the US, we're becoming so divided. And the thing is, it's the people that are in the middle are the ones that you're never going to fucking hear from because they, for the most part, they're just trying to take and live their day to day life, right? They vote Republican or they vote Democrat, and while they might pay attention to politics, they don't hold it against their fucking neighbor. That's the way 90% of this fucking country works. And it's the people with the loudest mouths who are willing to take and put themselves out there on social media to take and demonize the other side in whatever way possible. There's no talking to them. And that's one thing, regardless of whether Charlie Kirk agreed with people from the other side or not, at least being willing to have an open dialogue to talk about your disagreements is the most commendable part because that's not something that's you're seeing it less and less today. Like unless they take and get the token talking head on the from a Republican from the Republican side on MSNBC or CNN, or get a token Democrat put on Fox for a rebuttal or what have you, or to play as a buffer on Greg Gutfield's evening his nightly show or something like that. There's no actual debate. There's no actual I think this data backs up what I'm saying. I disagree with that because this data contradicts that data. And we see empirically or we see at the micro level, which means at the individual level, multiple accounts of this to take and repudiate that. We don't see that enough. And the people we do see it with, they're either fucking communists to one side or they're fucking Nazis to the other. And you can't, as a society, you can't have. This nation was founded on the open exchange of ideas. There's always been there's always been political violence that happens, but it's not so frequent as it's been. It's just I don't like we've seen Lincoln was assassinated. There's an attempt on another president's life that didn't happen. There's an attempt on we had JFK assassinated. Robert F. Kennedy was assassinated. There's an attempt on Ronald Reagan. We've seen an attempt on presidential candidate, former president, and now current president Trump. We've seen Democratic lawmakers and now a political activist. And what gets me is the people more than anything is the people that celebrate it. I don't give a fuck what your opinion is. I don't give a shit what your political viewpoint is. If you celebrate the death of someone on the opposite side instead of feeling at least remorse, not remorse, but at least feeling for the wife and the children that are left behind. If you can, where the fuck is your humanity? Where? I just, I don't know. I'm at a point to where I don't see things going very pretty in this country in the coming months and years. Like, I don't, I've never agreed with the divisive speech that's been coming from the leaders in politics and the media, specifically the major media sources of like CNN and MSNBC and Fox News. Like, it's just you can't demonize the other side and not expect shit to fucking go sideways. You can't take and call them because not everybody that votes Democrat is a fucking communist. Not everybody that votes Democrat is a blue-haired fucking ring-nosed socialist loving. Like, not it's that's not the fucking case. Most of them are hardworking men and women who just think that there's a different way of bettering the country than what you do. And it's the same for the Republican side. Most are hardworking and they just want to better this country in a different way. And that's the brass tacks of it. Somehow we've let the extremes of both sides become what's projected. I don't. We're. I don't. And I'm sorry, but if you're a subscriber and you're celebrating what's happened to Charlie Kirk, go ahead and fucking unsubscribe because you're not. Everybody's allowed to have an opinion. If you have an opinion on of a disagreement against what Charlie stood for, I completely understand that, and that's 100% you're right. But to take and sit there and celebrate the death, just unsubscribe because I don't want people like you in my community because you've lost your humanity. It's as simple as that. Now we can agree to disagree on whether his rhetoric led to what happened. That's a deeper discussion that will be had ad nauseum in the months going forward, or at least while it's in the news cycle for the most part, because that's just how shit works these days. So that's a bit of nuance and that's a bit of shit that we can get into the nitty gritty of, and we can agree or disagree on the conclusions that come from it, but to actively celebrate, I don't want you in my community. I just don't. It's vile. Absolutely fucking vile. It's one thing if he was a pedo. I'd celebrate with you. It's one thing if he was actively harming people by killing them or in some form or fashion causing bodily pain to someone. Even then, because he's got a family, I would at least feel empathy for the family. But I just I don't want you in my community if that's how you take and go about your daily life with people who hold ideals that are different than you and hold viewpoints different than you, because you've lost all sense of humanity. I've tried not to, and I try my best not to take it into politics. But this is, not only did this happen on the eve of 9/11, which was the reason why I joined the Coast Guard in 2002, but it marks a dark chapter, what seems to be a continuing dark chapter in American politics. I just, and the same thing, like if you're a part of my community and if you blamed an entire fucking party, or you took and celebrated the death of the Minnesota senator, or you took and celebrated or opined for the fact that the person that attempted to assassinate Trump missed, get the fuck out of my community. I don't want you in here, because you have lost your sense of fucking humanity. And when did we as a people lose our humanity? When did we lose the ability to take a look at someone and go, you know what? I disagree with you. I don't like you. I don't like your viewpoints. I'm going to go over here. Leave me the hell alone. And just not pay them any more fucking attention. When the fuck did we lose that ability as a human race? When? Because it seems increasingly that's the fucking case. We don't have to agree to at least have humanity. You don't have to take and demonize everyone you fucking disagree with. Goddamn, I see so fucking often the mindset that somebody who voted for Kamala is a fucking lefty, a loony liberal. That's not the fucking case. I've talked to people who supported her, who just, it's because they voted Democrat their entire fucking life. They didn't agree with everything she fucking said, but they liked her better than they fucking liked Trump. I've met, and hell, I plugged my nose for Trump, because I voted third party goddamn every election, with the exception of Obama's first term, since Bush's first term, because I've seen the way that the party is going and the divisive nature of the rhetoric coming out of both for a while now. And I just they're both hypocrites. But I know people who voted for Trump simply because they thought he was the better fucking candidate. That doesn't make them a fucking racist or a bigot or anything of that fucking nature. Like, this fucking mindset, if it's either fucking or, we've got to get out of that fucking mindset. The world, you have more in common with your Democrat or Republican fucking neighbor than the people who are preaching to you from the fucking floor of the Senate, or the motherfucker sitting behind the anchor desk on fucking TV. They don't live your fucking life. They're not living the same struggle you and your fucking neighbor are living it. And even y'all have a different struggle, more than likely, but at least you can take and empathize, and you can take and at least recognize the struggle, because you're right there at the same fucking level for the most part. And if a political difference is going to be what takes and causes you to take and want harm on them, fuck you as a human. Fuck you, and I don't give a shit what side you're on. This, I don't know what to think anymore. I don't know what to think anymore from a politics standpoint. I don't know what to think anymore about humanity, because this is a repeated process at this point. It's just, I don't, and this goes further. This goes further than just the US, because there's divide all the fuck over. I see it in my comments amongst y'all there in the UK. I've seen some pretty ugly arguments in my comment section. No matter how you feel about the person's opinion, there's no need to demonize them. There's no need to take and want harm on them. There's no need to there's no need to forget that they're still a human. And I think the proliferation of social media and this constant 24/7 cycle of sensationalism after sensationalism after sensationalism after sensationalism and editorialization, coupled with being able to take and doom scroll and see a recipe for a carrot cake followed by a comedy skit or an AI comedy video followed by a political talking head demonizing somebody from the other side, followed by another recipe, followed by a fucking stabbing, followed by demonizing the other side for something that somebody is doing. Whether it be you disagreeing with a GoFundMe for the person that took and stabbed Austin Metcalf, or whether it's you taking and wanting violence to take and happen because somebody holds a different political belief than you. Like, we're creating a generation that is going to wind up knowing nothing but violence and being so desensitized to it that the humanity they have is so small in a direct contrast to those of us who have grown up and grown into the digital age that it frightens me. You can come into my comments and you can say whatever thing about me or my channel that you want. He's a dumb American. He doesn't understand British humor. Or fuck him. He voted for Trump. That's your right. I'm not going to agree with you. Or I might take and say something snarky back to you. But I'll never want death on you. It's not a concept that I can understand. And if you celebrate the death of any political talking head at the hands of someone else simply because you don't agree with their viewpoint, I don't care what the fucking rhetoric is. Fuck you. I don't want you in my community. Simple as that. I want you to have a good life. I want you to know happiness. I want you to know joy. I want you to know love. But I don't want you in my community because we have different ideals. And it seems more and more people on both sides have lost the ideals that they claim to value and lost the ability to take and have a sense of decency and humanity towards one another simply because of a political viewpoint that they disagree with. I haven't gotten in. I see all kind of stuff through my comments and through YouTube or friends that I have over in the UK and their differing viewpoints and stuff they take and post about what's going on there. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I haven't dove into that because number one, I don't live there, so it's not for me to take and jump into. Number one. But number two, I feel it would be disrespectful for me to do so. Like, completely disrespectful. Because, again, I don't live there, so I'm an outsider looking in. I pray at some point both of our nations are able to take and heal and talk to each other again. Just I don't have a whole lot of faith that that's ever going to be the case. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Y'all be good to each other. Love yourselves. Peace.